Okay, so welcome to our webinar for Reading for All. Today we're delighted to welcome Leon from OrCam, all the way from Israel, who's here doing roadshows this week. So first of all, I'll do a bit of an introduction, and then Leon will be doing a demonstration of the OrCam. So welcome.
Okay, so today I'll go a bit of an introduction to quantum for anybody that doesn't know us. A very brief overview of some of the assistive technology we have for people with reading difficulties, and then we'll get to the main presentation by group, and then we'll have our contact details. So, hopefully you can see my screen there. So just a little bit about quantum to start with. We've been around for about 30 years. We're a technology company. We started by doing Braille devices.
What's that?
We're national. We've got offices in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, but we also get to other parts of the country. And basically we go out to people's homes and show different assistive technology to help people find what might suit them for helping with reading and other situations like using your computer. So mostly we've been known for things with for helping people with vision impairment or blindness, but a lot of the things that we do also cross over, and we have specific solutions for people with other learning difficulties and other reading difficulties like dyslexia. So I'll very briefly go through a couple of the things that we have that will help. We've got both software and hardware. So one of the software solutions we've got, hopefully I'll just change the way I'm sharing this. So one of the solutions that we've got is the read and write software, which is basically a toolbar which will working with things like Word, PDF on the web. And the idea is you can click in your document, you can press a play button on the top here, and it will start reading to you.
The latest information on assistive technology for people with a print disability. September 2018. The reading and writing issue.
And then I can just stop it. So you've got the highlighting and reading there. So as for people with dyslexia and other reading difficulties, that tracking and highlighting as you're reading can help with the comprehension and actually understanding and being able to read efficiently. It also has other tools like for writing, so things like word prediction, just like you might have on your phone, although it does learn the sorts of phrases you're using all the time, and you can customize the list that it uses. You've also got things for checking for homophones, so things like there and there, whether you've got the right option, dictionaries, and tools for making MP3s out of text, so you can listen to things then on the go. So that's a subscription software. If I go back to I'll just close this here. So if I just go back to my PowerPoint here, we've also can provide the Dragon Naturallyspeaking software, where that allows you to talk to the computer and it will type for you. So that can help for people that are bit easier for writing, or if you find it easier to express yourself verbally rather than having to type your thoughts down, or if writing's difficult for you. So that can help people with any number of different difficulties. So, and that's now available for Windows. Unfortunately, they seem to have just discontinued the Mac version, but and there are organizational options for that. And we can do demonstrations of any of these things. And then we get on to the sort of text-to-speech devices that we have. So all of these scan and read printed text aloud. So if I just make sure I've sharing my video screen here. So hopefully you can see. We've got things like the ClearReader, which will then I'll stop sharing. There we go. So you can see things like the ClearReader, where you've got a camera and then you just line up whatever you're trying to read underneath it. So if you can see what I'm doing here. Thank you. Thank you, Leon. So traditionally, this might be something you can just have in the home, and I can just press the scan button. It takes a photo, and hopefully they'll start reading. I've just got a brochure there.
OrCam MyEye 2.0. For blind and partially sighted people, an artificial vision device with a lightweight smart camera that instantly reads text aloud from any surface and recognizes faces, products, and money notes in real time, all packed into a tiny device the size of your finger.
So that's the ClearReader. We've also got ones that will connect into your computer, so you can then get the information on the screen as well. And then that really leads in, whereas these are great if you want something just in the one spot or that are a little bit portable, but that then leads into what Leon's now going to show us and talk about, which is the OrCam MyEye, the wearable reading device. So I will just...
Maybe I'll show them myself and...
There we go. So here's Leon.
Hello.
Leon.
Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here in Australia. We've been running around this week from city to city on a roadshow, demonstrating and explaining about OrCam MyEye 2, which is a very smart artificial intelligence wearable technology, wearable assistive tech for people with visual impairments or reading disabilities. So I'm just going to share the screen so you can see a few slides, and I'll tell you a little bit more about where this technology is coming from and what it can do. I'll also give you a live demonstration and also a little bit about where it's going to go to in the coming future, in the near future. And this one. So, all right, so we're talking about artificial vision and how it can impact the lives of people that need it most. So the OrCam story starts back actually in 2010 with two Israeli entrepreneurs, Professor Amnon Shashua and his partner Ziv Aviram, who had developed artificial vision technologies for the automotive industry and been very successful at integrating that technology into cars, first of all for accident prevention systems, and leading on from that into autonomous driving, autonomous vehicle technologies. They were very successful at that, and actually that company was sold last year to Intel for $15.3 billion. Anyway, back in 2010, they realized that the technology was at a stage of maturity in which they could apply it to human situations, to real human needs. And therefore, they established OrCam with the purpose of applying artificial vision and artificial intelligence to the people that need it most, which is, of course, people with visual impairments. And since then, the company's been working on creating the technology and the product called OrCam MyEye, and that's what I'm going to show you today. This is a smart wearable camera, a very discreet small camera that snaps onto any pair of eyeglasses and enables the wearer to read text, any text around them, recognize people, products, and much more. Basically giving them a degree of independence that they would otherwise not be able to achieve out and where they are. So I'm just going to run a quick video
it's
here.
A new day. The sun rises. The city is waking up. The streets come alive, and so does Amy. Amy, like all of us, doesn't like to get up, but she brushes her teeth, gets ready, and heads out to start the day. On Amy's way to the coffee shop, she stops at the bookstore
Greater than myself.
and realizes she has to run.
Time is 8:15 a.m. 10 Park Street. Believe in your selfie.
At the coffee shop, Amy gets comfortable.
Hot beverages.
She orders coffee and a snack. Then she meets Mike
Mike.
and Ellie
Ellie.
and someone new.
A young man is in front of you.
Cute. But Amy, you came to the coffee shop to get some work done. After finishing some work, Amy stops at the grocery store. Cereal,
Honey bunches.
milk,
Soy milk.
and
Dill pickles.
pickles. Now maybe a quick stop at her favorite shop for a little something, because you deserve it.
Dark blue. Pink. $100.
What? Amy finally arrives back home. Now she can relax. Take off her glasses. Sit down and have a drink. Ouch.
OrCam MyEye 2.0 is ready.
More than 350 million people worldwide are partially sighted or blind. Over 1 billion have reading difficulties such as dyslexia or reading fatigue. At OrCam, we don't just settle for meeting their needs. We go beyond independence. We give value by empowering them. OrCam, our vision, empowering people.
Okay, so we saw here a video of Amy, a regular person, getting through her day with OrCam MyEye. And if there's any visually impaired people on this webinar, then just to explain a little bit of the punchline at the end of the video, Amy gets to the end of her day and sits down, exhausted, kicks off her shoes, wants to take a nice cool beer, and instead takes a swig of olive oil by mistake. And that is the kind of challenging realities that 350 million people with visual impairments around the world face on a daily basis. And these are the people that that technology and products like OrCam MyEye are aiming to help. So what can a product like OrCam MyEye actually do for a person? What are the functions? Let me take you through a typical day and just demonstrate what the functions are. So it starts off in the morning. You want to pick out the right clothing, things that match up with each other. OrCam MyEye will tell you the colors of the fabrics, so you can pick out your clothing. You're out in the street. You want to orient yourself around the place. So OrCam will help you read the street signs, road names. You get to the bus stop or the train station, you want to read the signage, the notices, so MyEye will also be able to read that. In the shops or in shopping environments, you want to read store names, identify where you are, pick up products and understand what they are, identify their barcodes in order to be sure what product you're holding. So we have that capability also in OrCam MyEye. And you get to the cashier, you want to hand over money. You want to be sure that you're handing over the right money, so MyEye will also tell you what is the banknote that you're holding or receiving back from the cashier. Of course, a lot of our day is spent socializing and interacting with other people, so we can also have the ability within OrCam MyEye to identify the people that are around us. So it'll recognize faces, it'll recognize people. We can teach it to recognize the friends, family, colleagues with whom we frequently come into touch, and it'll just tell us who's in front of us. But more importantly than all of that probably is the ability to read text. And when we started developing the technology, we interviewed hundreds of visually impaired people, and we asked them, well, what do you want to get from artificial vision? What is the kind of the most important function that we can focus on? And overwhelmingly, we were told we want to be able to read. We want to be able to access the written word. So that's what we've been focused on very, very singularly since then. And today we have the ability to read on the fly, in real time, immediately, disconnected from any internet connectivity, any printed text on any surface wherever we are. okay, in an entirely hands-free manner as well, which is also very important, and we'll get to that in a second. But knowing that we can help a blind person access text and effectively read a text, it means we can also help other populations. And so also people that suffer from dyslexia or other reading impairments can also utilize the same technology in order to be able to access written words around them. So that's more than 1 billion people across the world who are estimated to have dyslexia that we can help. In addition, there are communities with various brain conditions which also impede their ability to read or to comprehend text through reading. Aphasia is just one of those examples, and some 26 million people are estimated to suffer from those kinds of conditions. So all in all, this is a lot of people that this kind of technology can really impact and help. Now, I just want to share with you I'm going to skip out of this presentation and show you just a little excerpt of one or two people who use OrCam MyEye. First of all, Matt, who is visually impaired and uses OrCam MyEye. Let me just listen to how Matt speaks about how OrCam impacts his day, his ability to actually work.
That I need to read. Absolutely, and it just makes it that much easier to read. Obviously, I understand what.
Well, see, unless you're being blind or vision impaired, I don't think people understand the importance of independence. And when this OrCam when I heard about this OrCam, I thought this is incredible. Just a small thing of, like a guy was in my work the other day, and when I had this demonstrated before I got my own, he gave me a piece of paper and he said, "Matt, read this," and I did. With the OrCam, and as I said before, you don't realise how good that made me feel, because it's been a long time. I've been blind for half my life. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that independently and confidently. And this OrCam,
and it's a very light feeling on the glasses. Is that right?
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's a lightweight thing.
Charger disconnected.
Or clip on the side of your belt. There's a lot of different text-to-speech devices out there at the moment, but nothing like this, because there's scanners, there's apps on phones, but like if I was in a meeting, I'd have to go into back into my office to the scanner if I had to read a document, or vice versa. With this, it's at your fingertips. You can read it there and then straight away.
And it's sitting there just on the back of your ear, so you can just.
Exactly, it's a little camera that attaches to the arm, or not the lens, the arm of the glasses, and then there's a little button you press, and you point to whatever you want to read, and it'll just read it out. And you can put headphones in too if you're in a busy area where it's a bit noisy and you're not disturbing anybody. But yeah, it's pretty exciting actually. And it also, the good thing about this OrCam for me, being able to get it, I have my own now, and looking forward to the training. But it's secured my employment, which is the most important thing to me.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Matt and Vivian. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So that was Matt, and I think if I take one sentence from that, which really is very meaningful, that for Matt,
it's small, but this camera.
For Matt, it secured his employment, his ability to access. He works in a telecoms company, and has to be able to read pieces of hard copy of paper which still get passed around the office, and he's able to do that with OrCam MyEye. I just want to play another little excerpt from another gentleman who uses OrCam in MyReader. His name is Dane, and let's just hear what he says. Dane is actually dyslexic, so he doesn't have a visual impairment, but let's hear what he says about OrCam MyEye.
Just as important,
MyReader.
Born with dyslexia, he's often felt embarrassed asking other people for help.
The world is changing, and it's going more reading, computers and things like that. So in the last 5 years, I've noticed that it's got a lot harder for me.
He's excited about the idea of wearable technology, helping kids to grow up without so many barriers.
Just to be able to read, because you've been told your whole life you're different, and you're different because you're not doing the same things that the other kids are doing. So having this, you're the same as everybody else. You're never going to be told that you're different.
The OrCam is available across Australia and overseas. Ben Wilmot.
Okay, so that was Dane, and I think if I have to take a quote from Dane, then it would be. Okay, so if I have to take a quote from Dane, it will be that on the one hand, he's gotten used to being told that his whole life you're different, and with OrCam, actually you can feel the same as everybody else. So a very, very powerful statement how a piece of assistive technology can really level the playing field for someone like Dane or someone like Matt, enable them to compete and keep up with their peers, whether it be at work, at home, in school, or in any educational environment. These are the kinds of people that the OrCam MyEye is helping. Anyway, just to take you into the product itself so you're familiar with it. The device itself is a tiny lightweight camera, snaps onto any pair of glasses. It weighs about 23 grams. A camera at the front end, together with two LED lights, which will automatically illuminate any object if there's not sufficient illumination in the room. And then at the other end, sitting near your ear is a little HD speaker, which will transmit the audio into your ear. You can also connect it via Bluetooth to a microphone or a speaker or earplugs. I'm going to show you exactly how it works in just a second. But before that, just a word about how we actually activate it. You know, this is very sophisticated technology. As I said, it's coming from real high-tech arenas of artificial vision, artificial intelligence. So getting it easy to use has been a real challenge, one that we've had to address very, very seriously. And what we've done is, in MyEye, we've taught it to recognize simple human gestures that anyone, whether it be a child or a person of 80 or 90 years old or any age really, can do. And that means that all you need to do is point towards something, and OrCam MyEye will recognize that gesture and will understand that what it wants you to do, whether it be to read a piece of text or to recognize a person or a product or whatever it is. So very, very intuitive to use. We're continuing to develop that human-machine interface and have actually added into the software with the latest update, which we've just rolled out in the last few days here in Australia, the ability to also speak to the device and give it vocal commands. At the moment, that voice recognition is applied to manipulating the settings of the device. I'll show you that in a minute. But that'll get even more smart until you reach a point where you'll be able to ask OrCam, well, what is this document that I'm holding in front of me? Oh, it's the phone bill. Okay, tell me what's the total of the phone bill? $100. Okay, great. Please pay it. Tap on the device and it'll connect back to your smartphone to make a payment. So we'll be able to eventually reach that level. There's still a long way to go to get there. But the voice recognition is already started to be activated in the device. So a lot of exciting developments to come. Let me just switch out of the presentation and get you back on camera so that you can see a demonstration of the product. Hold on, where it's gone. All right, so this is a little OrCam MyEye, okay, and I'm just going to snap it onto my pair of glasses. There's a little magnetic attachment on the arm of the glasses that just hold it on there. I'm going to connect it to a Bluetooth speaker here so that you can hear what it's actually saying. Let me just see. Should reconnect in a minute. If not, then I'll connect it manually. But in order to be able to, yes, just
device Creative Nano Micro connected.
Okay, there, just connected to the Bluetooth speaker. So in order to read something, I just put on the glasses with the MyEye on it. I've got here a piece of text. Okay, it's recognizing Rebecca here from Quantum because it already knows her. We'll get to that feature in a minute. But I want to read here this brochure I've got here. It's actually a Vision Australia brochure. We're here in the Vision Australia offices, so I picked it up on my way in. And what I'm going to do is, if you can just follow me on the screen, and just position myself so you can see what I'm doing. I'm holding up the brochure, the book in front of me, and all I'm going to do is point towards it.
To help your child get the best start in life, open the door to the joy of reading. There are many books in accessible formats to help develop literacy skills and read for fun. You and your child can enjoy stories and learn about Braille through Felix, Vision Australia.
Okay, and another gesture telling it to stop. So just putting my hand out in front of the camera indicates to it to stop. So two very, very natural human gestures that anyone can do. And I can navigate around the text, depending upon the level of vision that I have. I can either drag my finger across the text and it will read where my finger is, or if I don't have any sight and pointing is difficult, then it's sufficient just to hold up the page in front of me and either use the automatic page function, which when activated will, after a few seconds of having a page in front of it, will automatically start reading, or tap on the side of the device, just like that, and it'll read the page.
2,161,345. Early learning. To help your child get the best start in life, open the door to the joy of reading. There are many books in accessible formats to help.
Okay, it saw a number here somewhere in the room before it started reading the text. But basically, by tapping on the device, it captures the entire page, the entire scene, and reads the text from top to bottom. So this means that we can read any document, any printed signage on the fly, wherever we are at any time. So that could be a street sign, could be a shop name, it could be, as we said before, bus signs or train notices. Any printed text. Beyond the text reading capability, as we mentioned, it can also recognize people. And as you heard just before, it actually, I turned towards Rebecca and it recognized her. And there again, it knows Rebecca. So how does that happen? I'm going to face in the other direction, and I have another colleague from Quantum here, Olga. Can you just move, because otherwise it'll see also Irina. So I've met a new person and I want to know who's in front of me. So I'm just going to touch on the button.
A woman is in front of you.
And it's telling me that a person is in front of me. It knows to decipher the gender of that person, and it's a woman. So I can also teach it her name. And the way that we do that is I'll just hold down the button for a few seconds whilst looking at Olga. She can move around, she can smile, she can move her head up and down. It actually improves the recognition. Okay. All right, hold on. Just do a little bit more.
Face learning. Please keep holding the bar for up to 30 seconds.
Okay, now it's doing it.
Please name the person in front of you after the beep.
Olga.
Olga.
Touch to confirm adding person. Swipe to record. Person learned.
Okay, so the next time that I look at Olga, it recognizes Olga and tells me that it's Olga in front of me. Okay, so we can teach it to recognize family, friends, colleagues. Up to 100 faces can be stored in the product. In a similar way to teaching it to recognize faces, we can also teach it to recognize products, either by memorizing the physical appearance of the product, or by recognizing the barcode that is on the product. And the MyEye has a database of barcodes loaded onto it. So a lot of products it would recognize immediately. But what we also have is, and this is also new to the latest version of software that we just released, is the ability to teach it additional barcodes. So if you have a favorite product that you want to be able to find on the shelf in the supermarket, or to differentiate from other packages or items in the home or in the workplace, then you can just have it, you can teach it based upon the barcode that appears on that product and give it a name tag in a similar way to the process of learning a face. We can also recognize banknotes. So I've got here an Australian a $5 note. Let's see if it sees that.
$5 Australian.
Okay, so I just held it up in front of the camera, looked towards it, and it immediately recognizes and tells me it's five Australian dollars. In a similar way, we can also ask it to tell the time. Another gesture. I don't wear a watch, but when I lift my wrist,
The time is 2:32 p.m. Today is Wednesday, the 14th of November, 2018.
So just by showing it by that gesture, it recognizes the gesture and tells me the time. So a lot of things that we can do with MyEye. As I mentioned, we just released a new version of our software, and that has activated also the voice recognition that I mentioned before. So that means that we can now give it vocal commands and it'll respond. So all I need to do for that, for example, I want it to speed up the rate of reading. Okay, so all I do is double tap on the sidebar of the device. Read faster.
Rate up.
Okay, so it's increased the speed of reading. Let me just read you back the same text that we read before by pointing at it.
To help your child get the best start in life, open the door to the joy of reading. There are many books inaccessible.
Okay, and so it's reading at a faster rate, and I can go faster and faster, up to several hundred words per minute at a very fast rate, or I can slow it down if I want to the read back to be slower. So let me just get it back to its original setting. Speak slower.
Rate down.
Okay, it's gone back to its original rate of reading. So voice commands, and actually the voice commands are available. You can learn and see what it's capable of understanding today from our website orcam.com, where you have a list of all of the voice commands, and that's going to continuously expand and be developed further as we go ahead. And I think it's worth a word about the development process and what we have at OrCam, because we're actually very lucky to have a level of a very large team and a very high level of investment into this technology. We have about 150 engineers who are experts in algorithms, software development, artificial intelligence, computer vision, hardware. Sorry, I'm going to just take it off, otherwise it'll keep recognizing the people here. Who are continuously working on developing new capabilities for OrCam MyEye. So that means that there's a constant flow of innovation that is actually downloaded automatically to the device. The device does not require internet to work. It works entirely independently of the internet, meaning that it's entirely private as well. But we can connect it via Wi-Fi to the internet in order to download the latest software. So basically what you do is, once you get the device, you just connect it to your Wi-Fi network at home or at work. And from that point forth, whenever it's within range of that network and connected to a power source, then it will automatically seek out any software updates that are available and download and install them. So that's how we've just issued the latest release of our software, which has activated that voice recognition and also the Bluetooth connectivity and barcode reading, barcode learning that I just spoke about. That means there's a lot of new features and capabilities that will be able to be downloaded to the device as we go forward. Our team are working on a lot of areas of recognition. For example, in the field of mobility, we'll eventually be able to recognize stairs, doorways, enable people to orient themselves around their surroundings a lot more easily. It's quite a challenging thing to do. We need to teach a computer to recognize any number, and almost an infinite number of variations of stairs and doorways. So it's a very laborious process of machine learning that we need to go through. But that is what we're doing, and that's what that big team of engineers are doing day in, day out to enhance the capabilities of this product. The OrCam MyEye is already available already for a few years here in Australia, as well as across many other countries around the world. It's actually available in 18 languages today in about 28 countries. And here in Australia, we have the localized Australian version, which is available through Vision Australia and Quantum, as well as their partners. And I think on that note, I'll hand it back to Rebecca and take any questions that anyone may have.
Okay, I'll just go through some of the questions that we've got on the chat here. So, okay, so apologies. Okay. Okay, somebody's wondering if OrCam can read text on curved surfaces like bottles and cans. So I think Leon will confirm that yes, it will.
Yeah, absolutely. It compensates for curvature of, for example, pages of a book when you're holding a book open and there is a curvature on the page. Also for bottles and cans, as asked in the question. You know, of course, depending upon the curvature, there will be a certain angle above which the text just becomes invisible. So really, you know, it's almost to the level of the human eye. In other words, if you can read the text with your own eyes, despite curvature, then the camera can also pick it up.
So, another one we've got here. Oh, people have asked how they get an in-home demo. If you contact us here at Quantum, we can certainly organise that. So I'll give you our contact details right at the end here if you haven't already got them. Do you get a choice of different voices, and can you easily change between English and German language?
Okay, even though we do have the technology developed for a large number of languages, the Australian version has English only. So at this point in time, we don't have the ability to download any variety of language or any choice of language to the device. There is a German speaking device, which is sold primarily in Germany, but that is available. But you would need to be have a separate device for a different language.
Okay. Somebody's asked about how many genders does it identify rather than just male and female. You can set it just to manually recognize people, so you can take off the full automatic recognition. Is that right?
Correct. You can switch off the gender recognition if so desires.
Yeah. Okay. So the battery life of the OrCam.
The battery will last for up to about 2 hours of continuous use. Of course, it suspends itself when it's idle, and that preserves battery life through the day. But what we've also done is that we've provided the product with a very, very simple magnetic cable I'm just going to show you on the screen here. I've got here the device, and this is the cable with a magnetic connector, which I don't even have to fiddle around with it at all. It just connects to the battery pack, any power pack that you carry in your pocket or in your bag. Would be able to charge it up in 40 minutes from empty to full.
Your device Creative Nano Micro connected.
Sorry, it's the speaker again. And so, you know, you can just...
Charger disconnected. Battery is 87. Charger connected. Battery is 87. Charger disconnected. Battery is 87% charged.
So that will give you power, of course, to get through the entire day with the device. And you can use it whilst it's charging as well.
Okay, we've got another interesting question here. Somebody's a professional poker player and losing sight. Can it be taught to read cards but at a distance? And could it see cards in the middle of a table?
It's you know, we actually get that question asked about recognizing playing cards quite frequently. Unfortunately, today it doesn't recognize playing cards. You could theoretically teach it to recognize via the product recognition feature. The recognition reliability at different angles might not be optimal. You'd have to try that out, and through trial and error see just how versatile it would be, how it would handle different angles of the cards.
Okay, thanks, Leon. And somebody's asked, what if a person already wears glasses for vision? Do they need to swap over, or can they get their prescription added, or does it connect to their existing glasses?
It can connect to most existing glasses. So what we have is a little magnetic attachment. I'm just going to bring it up close to the screen, which we fix onto the arm of the glasses. You can just see here this little magnet. It wraps around the arm of the glasses. So any frame of glasses, it will be able to attach to. Sometimes if you have very, very thick frames, so the attachment might not fit around that, in which case you might need to look at a different frame for your glasses. And if you don't have glasses at all, it does come with a frame of zero prescription glasses, basically just the frame, in order to be able to wear it.
Yeah, thanks, Leon. And you may have already said, and I missed it, but you can have it on either side of the glasses as well, because it's just magnetic, and it comes with a few different mounts. So you can have it on your ordinary glasses, your sunglasses. So you can have it on a few different pairs. Okay, any other questions? I might try unmuting people just to see if, hang on a minute. Okay, if anyone's got any other questions, if they want to speak.
Hi, it's Marcella here. There was ones that were also in the Zoom group chat, and that was about recognising screens. My experience was that it wasn't so fabulous at it, but I did notice you put the face recognition to Corolla and it recognised her from the screen. So I wondered, have you got like a 4K screen, a non, what would be the secret there?
Yeah, I've just got just an ordinary tablet. I have found it might depend on the angle, whether you're getting any reflection off the screen, that can affect it.
Yeah, I mean, the OrCam will read any printed text regardless of the surface. As long as there's nothing getting in the way of being able to see that text, the camera being able to see that text. That means that it can, of course, read your screen. It's not a screen reader like your screen reader. And as Rebecca said, there could be reflection, there could be some glare off the screen, which interfere with the image that the camera is able to pick up, and that could impact the quality of reading on the screen. But it can read. It's pretty good on smartphones as well, as long as you're holding it fairly square to the camera. With regards to picking up a face on the screen, yeah, it could pick up a person's face wherever that is. That could be a picture, it could be real life or on a screen. Yeah, you can actually teach it a face from an image. It's either from your computer or from a printed image or a photograph, and it will recognize that person. The reliability will be less, of the recognition will be less or lower than if you've taught it from a live person who's moving their head around at different angles, but it can do that.
Okay, thanks, Leon. If there's anyone else that's got a question, I will unmute. If people can just bear in mind, we can hear any background noise. So if you can keep that to a minimum, that'd be appreciated. Okay, any other questions?
Does the arm, it's Carola here, the arm of the glasses, does it have to be quite sturdy? Because you said the device weighs about 23 grams. So you would think a very thin or fragile arm would not really do the job, would it?
Good question. Well, very, very thin wire frames are not going to support as well. It will be difficult for the magnetic clasp to clasp around them. So you want to have anything from but also a fairly thin frame will be able to hold it. You'd need to try it out specifically on the pair of glasses in question.
Okay, thanks for that, Leon. Hopefully that answers that one. I'll just check whether we've had any more on the chat side of things.
You don't have to put on glasses.
Okay. Oh, somebody else has asked about reading music. They're presuming no, but can it read music?
This is also one which we do get asked quite frequently, and that is, whether it can read music. No, currently we don't have the ability to read music with MyEye. It's something which is in our to-do list, but it's going to take a while until we get to that. I just want to add a comment leading on from the previous question about glasses. As as Olga here commented to me, you actually don't have to wear it on glasses. For example, people who are sighted or have a good level of vision, they can actually just hold it in their hands, aim it towards the text, and use it almost like a pen. So there's also that option for use, especially for people who use it just for reading who are sighted.
Okay, and another one, what's in the future of the OrCam? What is to come? Have we got any updates on that?
Yeah, well, first things first, regarding, I'll split the answer into two, regarding hardware and software. With regards to hardware, we're not expecting to change the hardware in the foreseeable future. Now, you don't often hear that from manufacturers, but in our case, I think it's a very good thing, because since we launched this version of MyEye, we launched it earlier this year. A wireless, minute device. We've created it as a platform which really includes the capabilities that can carry any software that we can invisibly, that we're envisaging of developing in the foreseeable future. So that means that when you buy into the device, you don't need to be concerned about it becoming obsolete 12 months or 24 months down the road. So we've got a very stable platform of hardware. Now, with regards to the software, as I mentioned before, we have a large team of developers back at our company who are working on new capabilities all the time. The next thing that will be released will be an app for your smartphone, which will enable you to connect the MyEye device to your smartphone. It'll be initially released for iOS. Android will come a little bit later. And that'll give you another way to access the settings and to manipulate the device in a more convenient way. So that's next up in the next 2 to 3 months. Interestingly, that app will also give you connectivity to the internet so that we can pull in additional services. And whilst the device itself will not be reliant upon the internet for its core functionality for reading, recognizing things, we will be able to add in services like translation. Someone asked about a dictionary service earlier today. These kinds of additional web-based services will be able to be pulled into the device via the app and the smartphone over to MyEye. So giving you a lot more capabilities. In terms of areas of recognition, the end game is, if we can make, with this kind of technology, if we can make a car drive itself through an urban environment, then we can certainly do something towards helping a blind person navigate their surroundings. That is the end game. It's going to take us a long time to get there. Along that route, there are a lot of small steps that will be taken. I mentioned before the ability to recognize doorways and stairs. These are the things that we're working on right now. Each of those categories of object or item is a project, a significant piece of work to be able to reliably get a computer to recognize whether it's a set of stairs or whether they're going up and going down, and provide you a reliable source of information that you're not going to trip over and hurt yourself with, or bash into a wall instead of walking through a doorway. So those are the kinds of features that we're working on. Additional contextual understanding of the voice recognition will also be is something that we see quite a lot of in terms of the updates coming out in the coming 12 to 24 months. So I would say those are the areas of focus at the moment.
Yeah, and I just to add, sorry, Leon, you may have mentioned this again, but the updates are all part of the warranty package. So for at least 2 years after you get the device, and at some point we were talking about after that, there will be options.
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I think that's
absolutely. The for whatever arrangements we'll have in place once we start releasing software updates outside of warranty, then they'll be very accessible.
So, okay, we might leave it there. Thank you, Leon. I can't see any last questions. I'll just put up our contact information. Anybody does want an in-person demonstration, or you have other questions, other feedback, then please contact us on 1300 883 853 or email us at info@quantumrlv.com.au, and you can find information on our website, which is quantumrlv.com.au as well. And we will be sending around the recording, and yeah, we'll fix that up. So apologies for any technical issues earlier, and thank you again, Leon. And Leon's also got a colleague, John, who's come over here, and they've been traveling around. So thanks everyone for joining us, and hope that's been helpful for you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.